wanted to give you a video here on these chrome windshield trims. You see the big edge on there sticking out? On these cars, I'm sure it's Falcon and I don't know what other ones do the same, but before you put the windshield in, you put the chrome window strip molding in the weather stripping rubber, in the rubber seal, and you put it all together as one. And when you put the rubber seal in, it squeezes. There's a channel in there that squeezes against this lip. Well, I didn't want to have somebody take the windshield out and put the new weather stripping in, because I don't, it's not a common thing, I don't think, like Safe Light or somebody or whatever can do. I'm assuming nobody wanted to really touch it unless I go to a hot rod shop or something, but that's just out here. So what I did was, and I'll show you the grinder I used, I ground out the rubber. Okay, I ground it out and made a slot wherever this sits in. So here's an example. This will go in here like so. Okay, it now sits inside the slot. And what I'm going to do is just cake this with black silicone, or black, actually I found a really good black sealer that I'm going to use. It's a little friendlier to use in silicone, and just coat the crap out of it, stick it on, and install it. It has a couple screws that hold it on. Let me show you. So I used a roto zip,
yeah,
and stacked up some of these abrasive wheels to get the right width that I wanted to cut the channel with, and I roto zipped right down the groove. Makes a mess, a big mess, but so you can rinse it all away. And that's how I got the groove in the old weather stripping. On this next video, and I'm so sorry I don't have this thing up in the air, I'm just kind of laying here. Somebody Mickey Moused the pitman arm, the pitman arm to the drag length and to the tie rods. I mean, it was all Mickey Mouse put together. It didn't even have the right pieces. I bought a complete front steering kit, drag length, drag link, I should say. And what I did was, I got it. Okay, when you get for the 63 and 64 and on back, I guess the geometry of how the tie rod ends connect to the drag link are a little wonky. So what they did in 65 is there you go. There's a fart can rice burner. What you did was is they moved the tie rod ends out to the ends of the center link, so that the bump steer is as much eliminated as possible. Anyway, long story short, I got a 65 steering kit made for the 63s, and I got that at CCP. If anybody's interested, let me know. They're in Placentia, by Anaheim in California, and it was close to $400 out the door. But it's everything you need except for a steering box. And what they do is they give you everything that's fit to size, and that took care of all my road wandering issues. Well, not all of it, because there was another thing I did is. And I don't have a wheel off, but I know you know what I'm talking about. The whole suspension. I rebuilt the whole suspension. But instead of changing ball joints and working all that, I found new upper A-arms and new lower A-arms, I guess you would call it that, or control arm, or whatever it's called. And what else? Spring perches. I found all that on Amazon from Moog, and some of the pieces are from Dorman. And I was surprised, like an upper A-arm, ready to go with the bushing in it, and and with the ball joints already in it, gosh, it was probably like $50 or something like that. And the lower one was even less. It was $30, all loaded, ready to go. So I just put that on. It was the first time I've ever done any suspension work, and the thing that made it easy was getting the correct spring compressor. And I'm going to show you what in a minute what that spring compressor looks like. It's very safe and it worked awesome. So I compressed the coil spring and changed the whole front suspension out. I did kind of a makeshift alignment. I mean, my toe-in I could check. I have a toe-in alignment. It's really easy. You know, it's almost like using a tape measure, but I have this device that we made years ago to do the toe-in. Is it still laying here? No, I put it back. Anyway, so, and then the camber and caster. The caster I know is not right. That I can't check, but the camber, I bought a little like bubble tool that you put on the wheel, and you could check the camber. So I got it close. I got it to where it doesn't pull and drive straight. You know, I don't know how it would do if I'm going 100 miles an hour over a tight curve, but I'm not doing that yet. Anyway, so that's how that is. So it's got a new front suspension on there, new steering, and it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad as I thought. So let me show you the tool that I used to compress the spring. I'm in the barn where I store all kinds of crap. So this particular tool right here, okay, this tool right here, you can find on eBay. Somebody makes this tool, and they say it's equivalent to what Ford used back in the day. What happens is you take your front shock out, and you take your front shock out, and this replaces the front shock. So there's the two mounts that go on the bottom spring perch as your front shock was mounted, and then this you'll see videos of it. Then this will go through your shock tower mount on top, and then you just this is a Acme thread, so it's goes pretty quick. Put some lithium grease on here, and you just start cranking the sucker down, and your spring will compress. And this is now I used it again actually, because I'll tell you, I lowered my car. I don't know if you could really tell, but I lowered it about maybe 1.5 inches or so. And I cut the spring on it with a Sawzall. Went through a couple blades, but I cut it, and it worked out actually pretty good because the original springs were a little soft, and this stiffened it up a little bit. So this is what I used to compress it, and it worked out really well. It's about $100 investment or so, but it's a good tool to have. The next thing that I'm going to want to do on this, like I said, the next major project is putting front disc brakes in. And I've decided not to go with a power booster. I'm going with dual, right? I'm going to go with the dual, but I've seen this, and you've probably seen it too. I mean, look at this. I've seen the dual with a power booster, and I don't know how the guys open the thing up and get it to fit. So I'm going to go with a manual dual, because I heard from a lot of folks I'll be very happy with just the manual without a booster with the front disc brakes, and I'll be okay with that. I mean, I've driven a lot of old cars that are just regular drum brakes, so I'm not to worry about it. I think that's about it. Oh, I do have a little bit of a transmission leak. Remember, this is a C6. I don't know why the guy put a C6 in here, but that's what's in here. And the just like C4s and C6s, after a while, the bushing, the shifter seal on the side that goes into the transmission, it's starting to leak on me. Well, it is leaking, so I gotta get that fixed. And I think I have a small oil leak somewhere, and I can't find where it's coming from. And it only happens after I drive it. So I don't know. Hopefully it's not a rear seal, or I just can't believe it is, because I think this engine was rebuilt like 6 years ago or so. So I don't know. That's something I got to hunt down. Oh, by the way, I'll show you my custom shroud. I went in the wife's flower pot graveyard, and this was a huge flower pot, and I cut it off to size, and you know, heck, you probably wouldn't have known had I told you that. But I'm sharing all my quirky stuff with you guys, so that's what that is. Made my own shroud. All right, I think that's it for now. Thanks, guys, and I'm sorry for being so long on the update. I'll talk to you later. Have a good one. Bye-bye. I brought the car up because I wanted to check had a little transmission leak, and I'll show you. It's from the selector shaft. But this is the all the new components that I put in for the suspension. All like I was talking to you about. Just installed it, put it on, went in pretty slick. Here's the new steering linkage. They said the design is from a 65, and they made it fit here on the 63. What they did is they brought this tie rod all the way out to the front of the center link. See how this tie rod here? This tie rod is all the way brought forward as far as possible. The other ones were longer tie rods that were closer to the center of the center link, which the geometry, they say, made it more susceptible to for your toe end to change a lot more sudden when you come to a bump. Anyways, that's it. What I was working on, oh boy, like I said, this is tough to see. Probably can't even see it in here. There's the selector shaft, and I've got a little leak coming in. The bushing's bad, and I have to take the pan off. I have to get into the backside to take this shaft out so I can change the bushing. It also didn't have the kick down lever that goes right here, and the O-ring was bad, and I was leaking out of here, so I put a new O-ring in there. I actually put another one on top and I put a lock nut and a washer, because they say you don't want to lock this up, otherwise you'll have a problem. So I got a little bit of movement. I'm going to see how that works. So that's about it down here. Lots of spider webs. It's summertime and spider web time, so okay.